Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of Great Millstone for risking their lives in freedom to spread this word in truth and sincerity to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And I want to give a salutations to all of you who may be watching, all you Akwath, Salakia, all you Akim and few Akwath that are watching. This is your brother Batakala Yehoda from the GMS camp here in Chicago. And today I wanted to do another lesson on this little clip from the show The Game of Thrones. I've gone over this series once before on this channel, and I'm sure I will continue to go over this series, Lord willing, in the future, because there are plenty of gems and plenty of pertinent things as far as the truth is concerned that are used in this show, and really in anything that pertains to pop culture or entertainment or anything, because as you know, for those of us that are in the know, all forms of entertainment, especially movies, TV shows, stories, and things like that, they all derive from the scriptures. All the stories are taken out of the scriptures, and then basically what they do is they use the scriptures as a skeleton for the story, and then they fill in the sinews and the organs and the meat or whatever you want to call it around the skeleton. They change that, but the skeleton of the story and all of these stories come from the scriptures. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna play this video, and I'll pause sporadically and go to the scriptures when I need to.
To side with wildling invaders.
We didn't invade. We were invited.
Not by me.
Free folk, the Northerners.
Before I go any further, I just want to stop here and pause this. And you notice that that gentleman that was standing up spoke of wildlings. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this topic because this is another topic for another day. But one thing that I do want to point out is that there are two factions that are in this room here. All right. There are people who are from the southern portion of the map, or from below the wall, which is what they would refer to it as in the show, south of the wall. Those are the people who live in the castles and who are more civilized. And then there's another group of people that live north of the wall or beyond the wall, and they live in the wild lands, and they live like a nomadic caveman type of lifestyle. So of course, those of us that know the people that live in the north of the wall, they're called wildlings, and those people are synonymous with Edomites, and they live how the Edomites, well, I'll say they live a slightly raised up life from how the Edomites were living during the same, what I would call the same time period in real life, because this is a story, but in real life during the time period that's depicted here, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and speckled bird Israelites were the ones occupying these castles, while the so-called white man, the Edomites, they were living in the Caucasus Mountains in frigid temperatures, living like animals. Okay, not civilized. But let's continue.
And the Knights of the Vale fought bravely, fought together, and we won. My father used to say, we find our true friends on the battlefield.
The Boltons are defeated. The war is over. Winter has come. If the Maesters are right, it'll be the coldest one in 1,000 years. We should ride home and wait out the coming storms.
The war is...
All right, I'm going to stop here. And notice that when the character was speaking, he mentioned his father, and he was telling, he was speaking to the men, talking about how they overcame the obstacles that they had to overcome, and they did it together, and how they need to continue to come together to overcome a greater obstacle. And like I said, the man who was sitting at the head of the table in the leadership position mentioned his father, and then this guy sitting in the crowd just gets up disrespectfully and starts running his mouth. And it brings this scripture to mind to me, or brings this scripture to my mind. So I'm going to go to John 6 and 42. And it reads, "And they said, Is this not Yahushai, son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he saith, I came down from heaven?" Now, like I said, this guy's in a leadership position sitting at the head of the table. And for those of you who don't know and who haven't seen the show, I guess spoiler alerts, but this whole video is really a spoiler, so spoiler alert, my bad. But those of you that know the story of the show, the guy that's sitting at the head of the table has really lived a life synonymous with the life that you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans live. He is what they refer to in the show as a bastard, or a child that's born out of wedlock. And in that society, on that TV show, bastards are treated like niggas are treated in this society, since pretty much, I won't say the show is completely homogenous, but for the most part, the show is homogenous. It's mostly Edomites that play these roles on the show. Why? Because Esau wants to kick the narrative that he was the one that was ruling during these times, and he wasn't. But nonetheless, since they couldn't put niggas in the movie like that wholesale and treat them like shit, they replaced niggas with the term bastard, and they just put them in that position. So Jon Snow, last name being Snow because he's a bastard from the north. His real family last name is not Snow. And, you know, for those of you that really know what the show is, the man he thinks that was his father really wasn't. The man that was his father was really his uncle. So he thinks that his last name is supposed to be Stark, like the man who he thinks is his father. But it's not. He has a different father. He's actually the nephew of that man and the son of that man's sister. Okay. So his last name would have been something else separate from the name Stark because his father has a different name. But nonetheless, like I said, he was treated like a bastard and raised as a bastard. His father lied and said he was a bastard for political reasons and to save his life. So he's been treated like shit his whole life. He had to renounce everything, his family, everything he knew, to go and basically be in a military force that serves as a buffer between the civilized world and these wild people that they mentioned earlier in the video. But yeah, like I said, this guy's trying to bring everybody together so that he can help them defeat what's coming. But, you know, nobody looks at him and takes him serious. They just think that he's the same old guy from back in the day. And that's why this dude didn't give a shit about standing up and interrupting them disrespectfully like that. Let's keep going.
It's not over. And I promise you, friend, the true enemy won't wait out the storm. He brings the storm.
Now, before she even starts talking, I just want to say that this would never happen in the congregation of Israel. Women would not be sitting amongst men like this, let alone a young child. And definitely wouldn't be speaking amongst men like this, especially a young child, but definitely not a woman either. But let's keep playing.
Your son was butchered at the Red Wedding, Lord Manderley, but you refused the call. You swore allegiance to House Stark, Lord Glover, but in their hour of greatest need, you refused the call.
Let me stop here. Okay, so now this young lady is calling out the other gentleman that refused to help the man sitting at the head of the room when he came looking for help the first time, when they had to basically overcome what they overcame to get to the point that they're at now. Okay, so when he asked them for help the first time, they didn't want to help him. Why didn't they want to help him? Well, we're going to go and we're going to get that in the scriptures. Because they came with the same shit, man, that guy, they had that same mentality that the guy that stood up in the middle of everybody had. Okay. Let me just find this scripture. I don't even think I think it's 14. Salakia. I was right. It was 13. I just didn't go down far enough. Salakia. But here, 55. There we go. So, like I said, this is this young lady calling out these gentlemen for refusing to help the man in charge when he came and asked them to help the first time. Okay. And he had to basically overcome the obstacles he overcame with what he had. And then he also had some help from a different group of individuals that came later. But for the most part, he had to just do without the two men that are being called out. He had to do without them. They wouldn't come and help him. And why wouldn't they? When he went to talk to him, what did they look at him as? Oh, you're just this kid. What do I need to come and help you for? You're not anybody important. Kind of like how this says in Matthew 13:55. Is this not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And see, that's the spirit that these people came in when they were dealing with him. They just look at him as their former lord's bastard. They don't have any respect for this guy. He's just a bastard to them. He would never be able to speak to them as somebody requesting or requiring something of them in that society, because he's a bastard. He doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a family. He's just a child of lust, basically. And that's the spirit that they came in. And like I said, this guy is not even really a bastard. He really is something greater than all of these men in this room. But his uncle hid that from them and from him to save his life. So they don't know. They think he's a piece of trash. They don't think he's anything important. Kind of like how you niggas think Yahushua is not really that important. You can just do whatever you want to do. But let's keep playing the video.
And you, Lord Kerwin, your father was skinned alive by Ramsay Bolton. Still, you refused the call. But House Mormont remembers. The North remembers. We know no king but the king in the North whose name is Stark. I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. He's my king, from this day until his last day.
Lady Mormont speaks harshly. And truly. My son died for Robb Stark, the young wolf. I didn't think we'd find another king in my lifetime. I didn't commit my men to your cause, because I didn't want more Manderleys dying for nothing. But I was wrong.
All right, I want to stop it here, and I want to go to the Apocrypha here real quick. Salakia.
Sign up with Chive and
commercials,
enjoy the
man.
luxury
Esau's
of
a
getting
piece
paid
of
up to
shit.
2 days early with the ring deposit. Download the app and sign up today.
Salakia. All right. Now I have to remember what chapter again. Sorry about that, guys. 32. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Salakia, guys. Fucking commercials. Chapter 32. And 17. Okay, now that Salakia for that, I just had to get this scripture pulled up. I don't have an app where the Apocrypha is also included with the King James, but you know, the Lord is with us and we got it anyway. But that larger gentleman, he decided to step up and try and defend himself after the young lady called him out, and he tried to make excuses. And all the other men that got called out are going to get up after him, and they're going to come with their excuses too. But The Lord has the Lord is not dealing with excuses. In fact, he feels a certain kind of way about that. And this scripture is going to illustrate that right now. This is the book of Sirach 32:17. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. See, when Jon Snow came and asked this gentleman, this fat guy with this white hair, asked him for help to help him out. Oh yeah, and one thing, shout out to the elder Malcolm real quick, by the way. This guy's hair and his beard are white. You can look at the skin on his face and it's red as ever. All right. These Edomites are red. There's no such thing as a white man. Shout out to the elder Malcolm for that. Let's keep going. But yeah, this guy, he's going to get up and he's going to make his excuses. But one thing that you got to understand, if you want to be a real man, first of all, you can't be a real man until you accept the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Rule number one. Okay. But after you do that, a real man is going to stand on his 2 feet and fight against unrighteousness to death. Okay. These guys were going against an unrighteous man who was mutilating individuals, who had killed members of their family in vicious fashions. And these people decided that they was going to tuck tail and just keep getting fucked. All right. A real man is going to fight to the end. And if that means death, well, then, it'll be an honorable death and he'll take it. But this guy, he just wanted to be soft and he wanted to hide so that he could just keep living a miserable life. And that's how a lot of you niggas come out here, man. A lot of you niggas, you don't want to accept the work of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and accept the burden that comes with that because you're scared of the punishment that might come from this society because you're doing that. You're scared of what people might think of you. You're scared if you might lose your job. But really, you're supposed to be willing to die for this shit, man. Okay? Yahweh Shai died for us. And you don't even know that nigga, man. Salakia, because he's not a nigga. But you get what I'm saying, man. Okay? You don't know him and he don't know you. Salakia, he knows you because he knows everything. And he knows everybody through his father. But he don't know you, man. When he come back, he going to tell a lot of you niggas that he don't know y'all, man. Why? Because instead of fighting to the death for what's right, you motherfuckers want to bend the knee and stand for wickedness just so you can fill your belly and live another day. And that's not how this shit goes, man. And everybody that got that mentality is going to end up paying the price at the end for that, all right? This guy is about to get off the hook for that shit. But in real life, that's why this is a movie or a TV show. Real life, you're not getting off the hook for making excuses, man. The Lord is not hearing that shit. Let's keep going.
Jon Snow avenged the Red Wedding. He is the White Wolf, the king in the north.
I did not fight beside you on the field, and I will regret that until my dying day. A man can only admit when he was wrong and ask forgiveness.
There's nothing to forgive, my lord.
There will be more fights to come. House Glover will stand behind House Stark, as we have for 1,000 years. And I will stand behind Jon Snow, the king in the north!
All right, let's get this next scripture. Okay. Okay, now like I said, these men that just spoke, they wanted to come and they wanted to make excuses. All right, and then they wanted to come with an apology after all of the heavy lifting had been done. Now it's time to come together, divide whatever spoils are to be divided, and prepare for the next battle. And of course, these motherfuckers are at the table talking like they did some shit, talking about they sorry and they just did it to help they other people. Okay, and it's going to be people that come in that spirit, when that day comes. And this is what they're going to get, because Jon Snow, he is a forgiving Lord. All right, he was a Lord that looked past excuse makers. Okay, he knows these guys weren't ready to risk it all for him and for his cause, but he still accepts them. And Yahushua is not moving like that. Okay, so we're going to go to Matthew 7:22, and we're going to see how Yahushua feels about that. Okay, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name have done many wonderful works? And I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Okay, so the Lord is not dealing with people that don't want to abide and apply and comply to his instructions. Okay, like I said before this event happened, the man sitting at the head of the room, Jon Snow, went and he approached all of these gentlemen in the room and asked them to stand beside him on the field of battle so that they could be liberated. This was to liberate them, because they were the ones under the yoke of oppression. He wasn't being oppressed. He was off in a military that's basically outside of government control. So he could have just kept living his life up there. But guess what? He decided to come back to liberate those people and to do what he had to do to save everybody. And when he came to these gentlemen with that proposition, they told him to go fuck himself. Now they want to apologize, and he's accepting apologies. But guess what? When that day comes in real life, it ain't going to be no fucking apologizing, man. The elect are going to get beamed up, and the rest of you motherfuckers are going to get cooked down here. And then you can come back in the kingdom, and you can be sad for a couple thousand years, and then you can pick your head up after that. And for you heathens, you know you ain't going to be happy no more. Until you, well, I ain't going to say that. You heathens will be happy after you serve your slavery. You Edomites ain't going to be happy no more. All right, let's keep going.
The king in the north!
All right, let me just get this last scripture and then we can close it out. All right, this is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 15. Salakia. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 15. Which in his times he shall show who is the blessed and only Pontinate, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. All right, so the Lord is the King of Kings. Yahushua Mashiach is the King of Kings, man. And he's coming back to collect all of the crowns that you heathens got, man. He's not playing around with you heathens, man. And all of you niggas that don't want to get right, you a heathen in his eyes, and he ain't playing with you neither, man. All right? But Lord willing, this was edifying. And, you know, before I close out, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rekakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the men, and the elders of Great Millstone for spreading his word in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. And I want to give all of you a shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, and a Baba Ball.